Welcome to the FIU Honors Podcast, Panthers Unleashed. I am your host, Emily Garcia, and we will dive into the stories, passions, and adventures of the FIU Honors community. Let's get into today's episode. Hi everyone, welcome back to Panthers Unleashed. I'm here with
Marianna Banchero.
And Marianna had the pleasure of going on our Italy study abroad with the Honors College trip last year.
It was this year, during the summer, 2024, yes.
So today we're going to talk about the difference between the Honors College study abroad experience and the FIU study abroad experience. I went on the FIU one to Argentina with LAC, and Mariana, like I said, went to Italy with the Honors College. So we're just going to dive right in. But first, before we start talking about our amazing experiences across the world, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Marianna. This is my last year at FIU, unfortunately. It's been an amazing journey. I'm majoring in international relations with a minor in political science and a certificate in human rights. So this is the area that I love the most, and it's been really a pleasure to study it at FIU. Yeah, and this is a little bit about me. Is that good enough?
Yes, okay. The certificate in human rights.
Yes.
I've never heard about that.
Yeah, it's human rights and political transitions. And it's really what I like because I want to work with nonprofit organizations. And I really want to work with like human rights advocacy and kind of stuff like that. So it's really interesting.
Cool. I love that. Okay, so just for the people who aren't in the Honors College, maybe prospective students who are watching, tell us a little bit about the application process for the Honors College, and then I'll talk about the FIU one because I feel like they might have been different, but you go first.
For the study abroad?
Yeah.
Okay. So the application was kind of an easy process, I think. They posted the link on Instagram, and I already knew that I wanted to apply, so I was waiting for it, like super excited about it, super anxious. I would send them a bunch of emails like, let me know when the application opens. I really want to apply like as soon as possible because I really want to go. And then when they posted the link, I clicked. You have to submit like super basic stuff like first name, last name, major, your year at FIU, and then I think you have to do like a little like essay, like super short, like
as to why you want to go.
Yeah, why you want to go. And then it was super simple. I think it was like 300 words, 400 words. Like it was super short. And then it was in the same form. I think it was like a Microsoft form. And then I submitted. And then they send you an email, I think, with requesting more information or something like that. But it was really simple. It was not complicated at all. And they're always available. Like, so any questions I had, I would just call or come here and ask. And it was super simple.
I love that.
Yeah.
How long did it take for them to get back to you, though?
I think it was just a few weeks. It didn't take long.
Okay, yeah. Similar instance for FIU. Mine was more since I had just... Okay, so when I went to Argentina, I was not a Latin American Caribbean studies person. I started the certificate after I finished in Argentina because one of the requirements is one of the classes you do there. So I reached out. No, I'm lying. Backtrack. My advisor for FIU, he sent an email to all like the political science students, which I'm sure you got it too because I think international relations students were also involved. To go to Buenos Aires for a month, and these are the things you have to do. These are the classes you can possibly take if you're a graduate or undergraduate student because both were offered. And then I remember that I was interested in it because, truth be told, yes, I speak Spanish, but intermediately. So I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna get around.
Yeah, I know. I don't speak Italian at all, so I know.
That was gonna be my question. Like, if you spoke Italian, because I know. Well, do you speak Spanish?
I speak Portuguese, but I can understand Spanish because I've been here like for a long time.
Well,
so
that's what I was gonna say. Italian and Portuguese and Spanish are all like very similar.
Yeah, it's similar. But still, I was a little bit like, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
I can imagine. Yeah, I was in the same boat, and like I know Spanish, so I was like, because I can understand it perfectly, but speaking it is a different level. And then I found out from like coworkers at my job that Argentinian Spanish is like Italian Spanish.
I know, it's
so
different.
Imagine. Yeah, that's why I was looking for somebody from the Italy program because I know like the language is kind of almost the same, but just a Spanish version. And I was like, oh my God, how am I gonna do it? Yeah. So I had a meeting with Dr. Hoberman, which she's the person that goes on the trip with us, and she is literally such an amazing person. Who was your faculty advisor?
Nicole was the one helping us out.
Nicole went?
Yeah. No, she didn't win, but she was the one helping us out before the trip. But the director of the trip was my Professor Magda Priesen. Yeah, she was the one
Oh.
who took us there, and she also taught us a class the spring semester, and then went with us in the trip during the summer.
Yeah,
Yes.
see, that's one of the biggest differences I was gonna
Mhm.
mention is that for FIU study abroad, we don't have a class
Yeah,
like before. We just go.
yeah, I've heard that before, and it's crazy.
Yeah, and like I didn't know anybody.
Mhm.
Okay, wait, I'm getting ahead of myself.
Okay. Sorry.
This always happens every time. But yeah, I had a meeting with her to explain a little bit more about the program because I was not Latin American Caribbean Studies
Mhm.
student, so I thought you had to be.
Mhm.
And she said no, it's open to everybody. I applied, which was like basic information, just like yours. I think we also had to write like a little essay as to why we would benefit from going to Argentina. And then I think maybe 2-3 weeks after,
Yeah.
I found out I got in.
Mhm.
And then we had like a meeting. Well, we had 2 meetings. We had one maybe 2 weeks after the decisions came out for who was going, and then another one I think maybe 2-3 weeks before we actually left.
Mhm.
Did you guys do that?
So we had a class together. So
Oh,
with,
that's right.
with the people in the program, but like in regards to the honors college itself, who was taking us, so we have an interview. Once you kind of get the email that you're selected for the interview, you schedule a day and time. So you come here, and they just give you basic information, ask you just some basic questions like, are you aware that you need to do this and this is gonna happen? Like, super simple stuff just to let you know. It's more like an informative meeting than an interview.
But it was one-on-one or with everybody in the group?
It
at the
was
same
like
time?
you schedule a day. So the day that I came, it was me and like 4 other students, but they're all doing different programs. One was going to
Oh.
Japan, the other one I think was going to Costa Rica, and then one was going to France. And then they would speak individually to each of us, but we would all sit together at the table and they would speak, directly to each of us.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
Yeah.
cool because then you get to meet
Yeah.
other people who are going somewhere else.
Yeah, and then after that, with the honors college, we don't have any meetings after that, I think, but we have the whole semester with the people who are
Yeah.
going with us in the same study abroad that you're doing. Like, you take the spring semester with them, so it's from January until April. You have like a long time to
get to know them.
to get to know them. Yeah.
Yeah, for me it was the opposite.
Yeah.
I met everybody going on the trip. Well, not even because some people were still being selected
Mm-hmm.
after the first meeting. But I think only maybe 2 or 3 more people joined after that.
And how many people were in your program?
18.
Oh, okay.
18 or 19, around
Okay.
there.
Yeah,
And
it was the same thing in my program. Yeah.
It was a mix of, I think we only had 1 graduate student.
Oh.
And everybody else was undergraduate. But it was like a mix of ages. We had some people from the military in ours.
That's interesting.
Some people my age. I'm 22, just for notice.
Mhm.
We had somebody younger than us, I think. I think we only had 1. Actually, I don't know. I'm not sure. I think everybody was relatively like in their 20s, in that age range. But no, I didn't know anybody.
Yeah, same thing in my class. It was like, I think the youngest person was like 18, and then me and another girl were both 21, but everyone else was 19 and 20. Everyone
Yeah.
else. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's great. So if anybody wants to apply to
Yes.
either study abroad, either with the Honors College or with FIU, the process is fairly simple.
Yes.
Of course, I'm pretty sure there's a GPA requirement.
Yes.
For the Honors College, I know for a fact there is.
Mhm.
For honors, I mean, for FIU, I think it just depends on the program.
Mhm.
I'm not 100% sure about that. But yeah, and then I also know, just so you guys are aware, there is a page for FIU that it tells you literally all of the study abroad
Yes.
opportunities, including the honors ones. And you can filter it by your major so you can like kind of see which ones are more targeted towards your preferred interests.
Yes.
Argentina just happened to fall into mine. And then what was the Italy, like what was the target?
So
that
I
one?
did it because I was super, super interested about the history and culture. And this class, like, we went to 7 or 8 different cities. Like, we really went to the historical sites, and taking the class before and really learning the history and important facts about each city really added a lot to my like knowledge and international relations. So that's why I took the program. I decided to do the Italy one because it would really dive into the Italian culture and everything. And it was my first experience going to Europe. I've only been to Brazil and the US, so like it was super interesting. It was first my first international trip by myself. So it was super, super, super interesting. And I was really excited. Honestly, I would go to any of them. I applied to the Italy one because it was the one that I wanted to go the most, especially considering that was my first trip internationally by myself. So I wanted to do the Italy one, but I would be happy with any of them. They're super interesting. And also, I think it's important to mention that you can use like your scholarships towards them.
Yes,
And
that's
like,
true.
really, I see no reason like for not doing it because it's super easy. And like, if you're getting a scholarship for the summer program here at FIU, you can use it towards your study abroad program as well. And it's such an amazing experience and so worth it. And really, depending on where you're going, like, it's not that expensive at all. And like, it's super worth it. Really, really worth it.
I know that the honors college ones have different prices.
Yeah.
How much was Italy?
I think it was it was around like 2,500. The whole thing, and included like where you're staying and some dinners and like group things that we would do together. The train tickets from city to city. A bunch of things were included. I think I only had to pay for my plane ticket and for like the side expenses, like if I want to buy like something for myself, and also like when I had to have lunch, and then the food expenses and your plane tickets is basically what you really have to pay for. But other than that, it's totally up to you, and you really don't have to spend that much money if you don't want to.
Yeah, ours was kind of like the same thing. I think mine was about 3,000. Just the plane ticket alone to Argentina was like $1,000.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
No, to Italy is the same thing.
Yeah, it was insane. I really thought that the plane ticket was included, but I thought that it was like included in the pricing. You know what I mean? I knew we were gonna have to pay it on our own, but I thought it was in the pricing. So fun fact to know.
Yeah, really important fact to know.
Yeah. But the same thing for us. Our dinners and breakfast was included.
Oh, that's nice.
So, but wait, did you guys stay in a hotel all together, or did you guys live with people?
No, we were staying in a hotel every time, but like we would pick the roommates before. Like our professor told us, like, we're staying in this hotel and this is the number of people who are staying in each room. You can pick your roommates, just let me know. And then she gave us all the name of the hotels and everything.
Okay, see, I didn't have that.
No.
We stay, so in Argentina, the way that the program is so that the students can get the most out of the culture as possible is we have to stay with, like, families.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So
but that's super cool.
We get matched with them, pretty much. So we have to fill out, like, a survey. And it's like, do you have any allergies? Do you like pets? Do you want to have little kids in your house? Do you prefer older kids? What time do you like to wake up? What time do you go to sleep? Do you want your person to be at home all the time, or do you care if they have a social life? Like, things like that. And then little quirky questions too, like, what is your astrological sign?
Really?
What do you prefer to eat for breakfast, dinner, like all those things? Do you not like any specific foods? And then that's kind of like how they match you to your person.
Nice.
I fortunately was paired with an amazing lady. I still talk to her to this day.
That's super
Her name
cool.
is Mercedes. I love her like if she's my own mother. And I met her whole family.
Oh.
So they didn't live like in her house, but I met all 5 of her kids. I met all of their spouses.
So
I met her grandson. I met her cousin. I met her cousin's son. It's like, it's a whole, and it's true, like what they say, it really immerses you into the culture because she would cook dinner for me every day. Unless I would tell her, like, hey, we're actually going to go out to eat for dinner today. And every dinner she gave me was an Argentinian, like, in-house dinner. Not like what you get in a restaurant. But relatively, all of the students in the program were like selected with people near each other.
Oh, that's nice too.
So the girl that I got really close to, she's actually a UF student.
Oh.
She's not a FIU student. Yeah, she was the only UF one, and it was hilarious. So we were like, how are you here? But she came on the trip, and her homestay was 6 minutes from mine.
Oh, that's nice.
Walking. So literally 2 minutes in a car. And then all of us got to know each other fairly well. I think we were like a really big, not a big group, but we were all always together.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there was like those who like preferred another group, and then
Yes,
it was
yes.
like split in half. I don't know if that happened to you guys.
Oh, that did happen. Like we had like separate groups, but overall everyone
Yeah, got along.
got along really well. And since we were all staying in the same hotels all the time, we would do a lot of things together. And
Yeah.
we had a lot of, I don't know if you had that too, like excursions with our professor.
Mhm.
Like they would take us places. So we had to be together a lot
Yeah.
too.
Did you guys have a class while you were in Italy, or it was just like looking at like historical sites and stuff?
No,
like
we
that?
didn't have a class. She would take us to the places and we would talk about the history and, you know, important facts while
Like
we
an
were there.
informal class.
Yeah, like an informal class, exactly.
So we actually had a class.
Oh.
So we had like our classroom was a library
Oh.
in like a building in an institute that they have that they teach English there. I think is what it was. It was called Icana. And our classroom was the library, was huge, and so our professor, she would talk about like different things in the Argentinian culture, and then some like around our class schedule, like our class time where we're sitting down for 2 hours, was the field trip surrounding it. So like sometimes we would have some in the morning, then we would have class in the afternoon, then we have some at night. Sometimes we wouldn't have class at all, and it was just the field trips because they were enough and they like targeted the lesson. And then sometimes we would have a field trip in the morning, class, and then we're done. I think the only thing that wasn't educational per se was our tango class.
No, tango?
We had a tango class.
Oh, that's so cute. I love your program. I'm like, I want to do it like tomorrow. It's super cute. Like, it's super
It
cute.
was really funny. Like, I will say that was definitely.
And it was included.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
so
that
you
was
have
one
to
of the
do
things
it.
that was included. But it's funny because, you know, like the girls want to dance together because they don't want to dance with the boys and like
Yes.
whatever. But they didn't let us.
Oh.
They didn't let us. The boys and the girls had to dance together. And it wasn't that bad, to be honest. Like the class was fairly something you could keep up with if they weren't expecting you to be like experts or anything. But that was like, I think, the only non-educational one. We went to like the president's house.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah. Because unlike here, you know, the president lives in the White House.
Yes.
In Argentina, the president does not live
Mm-hmm.
in like their version of the White House, which is the pink house.
Oh.
Yeah, it's actually pink.
Oh, I love that. I love pink.
It's super cute. And if you went to Italy, Argentina, it actually has a lot of like Italian infrastructure and like influence. There's a huge Italian population there.
Wow.
So that's why I was like, it's very similar.
Yes.
Not exactly. Like obviously you had all of your experiences to the Trevi Fountain and stuff, and I didn't.
But it's great. Like honestly, like I would love to stay at a little Nana's house and like have their food.
It was super
it's
cute.
Amazing. It's
But
amazing.
what did you guys do in Italy? Like, what was the most like both the non-educational and the educational ones that you specifically liked yourself?
Okay, so as you mentioned, like you had the class and then you had the field trips. So what we did, we had the class during the springtime, like the spring semester. We would talk about each city, the important places, the important events, the most typical food. We would talk about everything. So once we were there, we were like, okay, so now we're going to try the food that we talked about. We're going to go to the place that we talked about, you know? And it was super, super interesting. And I love the way that we did it because we all remember like the stuff that we learned.
Yeah,
and we
you were
would
prepared.
Yeah, and we would watch those videos and films and everything. So we know what to look for. And once we're there, it's like, oh, we saw this. Like we learned about it, you know? But yeah, some experiences that I really loved, educational. Now that you mentioned, I feel like not everything that we did was really like education, like focused. Like we did a bike like tour in Appia Antica in Rome, and we saw like the old ruins and everything. I didn't do it like riding a bike because I twisted my ankle the day before, and I didn't learn, like I didn't know how to ride a bike before the trip. So 3 days before I went to the trip, I learned how to ride a bike. And the day before the bike ride, I twisted my ankle, so I had to do it walking.
So all the effort was for nothing.
It was for nothing. No, I'm 21. I'm supposed to know how to ride a bike, so it was really productive. It was a good lesson to learn anyways, you know. But yeah, I love walking around and seeing it. So I think most of it was not like focused on like educational things, but like we would go to the places and like we visit all the churches that we saw. Like we
It's
would
very
walk.
cultural.
Yeah, it was like more like towards like cultural knowledge than anything else. Like you would go visit like the sites. And for me, it was super educational. I don't know how you judge that, like if you think it's educational or not. But like for me, it was really educational because that's my major and what I love to do and what I love to study. So for me, it made sense. But yeah, it was kind of like a trip, honestly. Like it was vacation. So
but
it was
that's why it's important to like look at the specific study abroad opportunities and if it targets your interest. Because exactly like Mariana and I, our study abroad didn't feel like class, like if you're sitting down in a lecture and stuff. At least for me, because I actually had that, and then for you, it was like you weren't just being dragged everywhere that you didn't want to go.
No,
it was targeted to everything that they thought we would like, and fun stuff included too. Like I had a tango class. We had like the opportunity to talk to Argentinian students that are learning English, and we had like a churros and chocolate night because they have that over there. That's like a really popular dessert. Isn't that a popular dessert in Italy too? Or is that France?
Churros? I don't know. I didn't see it a lot in Italy. I saw a lot of gelato France. Though. Gelato was the best. Yes. It was the best.
You know, we got to talk about the gelato.
No, yeah, we got to talk about the food for sure. The food, because I think it's the best part.
I had Italian food in Argentina and I was like, this is the best Italian food I've ever had in my life.
No, but food in Argentina is really good too. I know that because I've been to a few restaurants. I've never been to Argentina, but there are a lot of restaurants from Argentina and Brazil. And here in the US too. In Miami, there are a lot. But I'm pretty sure that once you're there, it's 100 times better for sure. Yeah.
But I was surprised though at like how many Italian restaurants there were, because before I went I didn't know about like the Italian population there.
I didn't know that.
So I was I was like taken aback. I walked in and I had the best Italian food I've ever had in my life. And the UF girl, she's been to Italy before and she was like, this is almost better than Italy.
Ooh.
I was like, no, you're lying. Don't tell me that because I want to go to Italy so bad.
Yes.
But what did you guys have?
Oh, for like food wise?
Yeah.
Okay.
Was it a restaurant every day?
I mean, it was up to us most of the time. Like we had like a few group dinners planned. Like we went to Nornia, which is like this little small town in Italy, which my professor is from, and they have like this medieval tournament, and we had like a medieval dinner, like a group dinner, and it was crazy. It was super, super different, like food that I've never tried before. So there are a lot of different things that we did, but for me, the most impactful thing is because before the trip, I wasn't crazy about pasta at all. Like I would have pasta and I would be like, yeah, that's good, like whatever. But after Italy, like every time I go out with my friends, I'm like, can we pick an Italian restaurant so we can try the pasta? Like I've been addicted to it. It changed my life. Like the pasta there is so good and it's so cheap. Like the best pasta dishes that I had were like €6, €7. Like the most expensive ones were like €17.
Yeah, which is insane. In Argentina, like the economy, I mean, I don't live there, so it doesn't affect me as like it affects the people who live there.
Yes.
I don't know what the economy in Italy is like.
It's not as bad as in Argentina, but it's supposed to be better than it is now.
Yeah, like that's also another thing that before you guys go on your study abroad trips, if you're interested in doing one, definitely do your research on the country.
Yes.
I did not. But obviously the honors college prepares you for the history you need to know.
Yeah. But FIU will prepare you once you're there.
Yes,
you know.
That was another thing I was gonna say. Thankfully, the professor that came with us, Dr. Holberman, she was raised and born in Argentina, in Buenos Aires specifically. So she gave us like a little debrief of all of like the country, like listen, the pickpocketing situation is bad over there right now because of the economy, so don't like have your phone in your pockets, your backpack, wear it in front of you, like all the precautions you should take that you don't think of when you sign up for a study abroad trip.
Our professor was the same way.
Yeah, because all you're thinking about is, oh my god, I'm going to Argentina, or I'm going to Italy, or I'm going to France. And like, oh my god, I have to see the Trevi Fountain, and I have to see the Casa Rosada, and I have to see this, and I have to see that. You don't think about the safety features of it all.
Yes.
So that's very important. And I think FIU and the Honors College, they try to have like your faculty that goes with you on the trip to be familiar with the location. If not having them be from there, they've been there plenty of times to know like these are the areas you should avoid. This is the money you have to convert your dollars to. This is a restaurant you have to try. This is a show you have to watch. Like all those things that they prepare you for that you wouldn't necessarily think of before you sign up or after you get accepted, because your mind is just on I'm going.
Excited,
exactly. But no, I think between ours, from what we've talked about, the biggest difference was probably the semester thing.
Yes.
And then where we stay. So, but I also want to touch on some myths that people don't necessarily know going into study abroad. For example,
okay,
we both stated that we are above the age of 21.
Yes.
However, if you're going on a study abroad trip, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have the freedom to go, have a bottle of wine with your professor, or like your homestay in my case. Of course, like in Italy, wine is a very big part of the culture.
Yeah, and in Italy, you just have to be 18 plus.
Exactly. In Argentina as well. But in Argentina, kids there start like having a cup of wine. Because over there, it's like not, alcohol is not like,
yes. Same
it's
thing
like
in Italy.
a glass of wine is like normal.
Yeah.
It's like there's no hype around it. There's nothing like special about it. Just a glass of wine with your dinner. They start doing it at 14. So I don't like wine at all. I haven't developed the sophisticated taste for it yet.
Yes.
But that was another thing I was very shocked to see. And of course, like for all your study abroads, you're told like, hey, you are under FIU's like student code of conduct. You have to behave yourself, all these things. But the amount of times that it was like, oh, do you want a glass of wine with your steak, or with your pizza, or with your pasta, or with, I don't know, whatever else I ate. It was too many things to remember in my brain. Really surprised me.
No, yeah, and our trip was the same thing. And a lot of the dinners that we had, they would offer us if you wanted wine, but it was up to you. And of course, being responsible and knowing that you're under the code of conduct, like, be really aware of yourself, be really careful. But one thing that surprised me a lot too is that you have a lot of freedom. So it's really, you can make your own choices. Nobody's gonna be like parenting you, so like you're supposed to be aware of yourself, but knowing that if you do anything irresponsible, like you're gonna be sent home. So like be aware, be responsible, and yeah, like just just be really like aware of yourself and make wise decisions, but also be aware that you're gonna be able to make like the best of your experience and make your own choices and decide to have, whatever you want to have, and have freedom, to make this.
Like your personal excursions that you do outside of like the group, like you were saying, it's 100% up to you, but to always like keep in mind that you're somewhere you're not familiar. So going anywhere by yourself is not recommended. Even in, at least for us, in groups of 2 or 3 was not recommended. It was to go out in a bigger group, and if we are going out in groups 2 and 3, to like at least have like a guy with you. And that's how we always were. Thankfully, like the group that I was involved with, I think it was half, like I think it was 4 girls, 4 guys. So if not, I think there was maybe 1 extra, like 5 girls, 4 guys. But we were all always together, so it was never just me and another person, unless it was walking home. But like I said, the girl that I was really close to, she lived 6 minutes away. And my area was a very, very like high-end area. It was more the richer side of Argentina, quote unquote. So it was very safe to walk around at night from her house to mine. I wouldn't like venture off by myself. I'm too wimp for that. But at least my country was Spanish, which is something that I'm familiar with. In Italy, imagine like if you don't know Italian, and you're walking around somewhere by yourself, it's like,
I wouldn't do anything by myself, especially for this reason, because I didn't want to get lost, and like it would be a nightmare, and I didn't want to give like too much work to anybody, because if I got lost, people would have to pick me up. So I was really self-aware, and my program was the same thing. We tried to do things always in a group, so no one gets lost. And if you went in like in a group of 2 or 3, it was fine, but like our professors would always tell us like how each city was. So like, for example, Napoli, they were more like, be more careful and like don't go around by yourself, like especially the girls, like be aware, especially because if you're going to Italy, just know that if you're in a group, you're totally fine. But as a woman, like I didn't feel safe like walking around by myself in certain areas. So I think that's just an important cultural difference that you're gonna see in other countries, especially in Latin America, if you're going to Latin America as well. And that was really important for us to, they really tell us everything that we need to know.
Yeah.
Like everything that you need to know. So that was really important. But yeah, we would do as many things as we could in groups. And it was much more fun to do it in groups. So,
but you know what I'm now noticing too? A difference that we had is you went to multiple cities.
Yeah.
I did not.
You stayed in the same one,
I
the
stayed
same
in Buenos
house.
Aires for the 30 days I was there. I mean, we had like a group trip where we went to but you guys, it was optional. Like the group decided amongst themselves that we wanted to do this. Uruguay is only a 2-hour ferry ride away. So we went to Uruguay for the day, and we came back before nighttime. And that was the only time that I left Buenos Aires. I know other people in the trip, like they went to Argentina 2 weeks before to like go around the country because it's a really big country, like huge. They went to like, I'm not sure where they went, but I know they went to like I think Mendoza was one of them that one of the students went. I'm not sure if somebody went to Patagonia. Maybe they did, but after the program was over. So that's another thing to mention, that just because you go on a study abroad trip, you can arrive before your trip begins and you can stay even after. But of course, like the accommodations and everything don't apply after it's over. You kind of have to figure it out yourself. In Argentina, I know that somebody in like the group that I was very close with, he stayed a week after for the what was the soccer thing going on at that time? The Copa America, I think it was.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Copa America.
He stayed for the end because it was Argentina was one of the finalists against Colombia. No,
I think so. I know that Colombia won, but I don't know who it was against.
Argentina won
This year?
Yes.
It was Colombia, no?
No.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Sorry, guys. I thought it was Colombia.
Yes, it was against Colombia. It was against Colombia, but he's Colombian, but was in Argentina.
Oh.
So he was like, I don't know who to go for.
I just remember, like, the amount of Colombian people that I know that went, and, like, the stadium was packed and the streets. That's all I remember.
It was here. I forgot. It was here.
Yeah, it was in Miami, right?
That's why he stayed an extra week, because he heard that if Argentina won, like, the whole entire, like, in Argentina, there's a street called Libertador, I think. And it's like the biggest street. It has like 9 lanes. It was packed after Argentina won. It was crazy. Everybody was on the street till like 4 in the morning because Argentina is a big nightlife. And he stayed just for that. And his homestay was actually like, if you're gonna stay, you can stay with us.
Oh, that's nice.
And you don't have to give us money for like dinner, lunch, nothing. Like, we got you. But of course, because he felt bad that they were gonna be spending their money, he gave them like 100 pesos and like used that to make his dinner. But because he was only staying an extra like couple of days, I don't think he ended up staying the full week. But there was that. So you do have that option, but just know that it's gonna be out of your pocket, not out of FIU or the honors college. That's kind of like the only downside, but I mean, you're staying in a country that you're visiting. I think
it's a great opportunity because if you're already there, like, I had a few friends who, like, stayed after. They went to, like, we didn't go to Capri or the Amalfi Coast when we were there as a group. So they stayed after to go to these places, and they don't regret it at all. They loved it. And since you're getting to know the people before, you can also plan it to stay with a group of people if you want to, if they also want to stay longer. And especially if you're going anywhere in Europe, it's super easy, and in Latin America too, to travel from one country to another. But especially in Europe, since you don't have to do costumes in every country, once you get there, you're there, and you can just travel around, and you take a train, and it's cheap, and you can be friends for a day and then come back, which is insane. But it's a great thing. And once you're there, I mean, you don't know when you're coming back, so you might as well just
take advantage of it.
Yeah, I think so. It's a great thing.
I think I didn't stay because how long was your trip though?
It was a month long.
Okay, same as mine. Okay. I didn't stay because I was really excited to go back home.
No, I didn't stay because I traveled the whole month of May, and then I came back. I stayed 1 week with my family and went to Brazil for another month. So like I couldn't stay longer. Otherwise, I would have to go straight back to Brazil. So it was
So
the
you've
best thing.
been like you've been to other countries, but this was your first one by yourself.
No, I've been to the U.S. and Brazil and to Italy. That was it. And Italy was the first time that I was, and like Brazil is my home country,
Right.
and the U.S. became my second home. And then like Italy was the first time that I felt like, oh, I'm going to another country, like as a vacation, as a trip. You know, I'm going to visit because the U.S. became home to me too, and
Yeah.
Brazil is like home to me too. So you know. So yeah, it was a totally different experience going to Europe, especially by myself, because I always try to travel with my friends or my parents, and then going like taking the decision to go was super exciting. I loved it. That's another thing that I would like to mention, that it's really good, really good for your self growth. Like you mature a lot, you
Yeah.
become way more independent, and you see that you're capable of solving problems by yourself, especially if you're like young adult, like you're still maturing, you're still, you know, learning to do the things by yourself for the first time. It was a really great experience for me in this aspect. I felt like it helped me in a lot of personal levels too.
Yeah, that's a great. That was literally gonna be like my wrapping up question. I agree 100%. I wouldn't change anything
Yes.
about where I went or how long I was there, the people I met, for the world.
Yes.
I would love to go back to Argentina, but with my family this time, only because the woman that I stay with, Mercedes, like she really like introduced me to her family, and I got to know them on a personal level. And the same with mine. I would FaceTime my family when I was there, and they would meet her and they would talk to her, and my boyfriend as well, even like. So I was in Argentina for my boyfriend's birthday, so I couldn't obviously be there. I know it sucks. But Mercedes actually, she went out and bought like a little alfajor. Or like it was actually really big. Not gonna lie. It was a really big alfajor. She put a candle on it, and we sang "Happy Birthday" over the phone. Like she even got him a gift.
Cute.
So
That's super cute.
yeah, I would love to. That's the only thing that I would change if I could go back.
No, yeah, me
And
too.
I would bring the people that I want to meet her, and then I don't know. I maybe considered moving to Argentina.
Yes, I know. That was the biggest thing for me. Like, especially Rome. Rome and Florence were my two favorite cities. Like, I didn't want to come back at all. I was like, family, you can come visit. Like, you can all come visit. Like, I
Yeah.
can stay here, and I would be super happy. And I was trying to convince everyone, like, it's super cheap. Like, the food is cheap. Like, education is cheap. Like, I could stay here. But I couldn't. I had to come back. But still, like, I wouldn't change anything. I love the people that I met in my program. Like, they're
Yeah.
super great. Like, I think was one of the best experiences of my life. I would do it again. Like, I wanted to do it every semester if I could. It was really amazing. And yeah, the only thing I would change, I would love to bring my boyfriend to Italy too. His family, my friends. I want everyone to go because it was so great. And I hope like every time I go back, if I have the chance to go back, it's gonna be just as great as this time because it was life changing. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So guys, you hear it from us first. We 100% endorse.
Yes, 100%.
Our study abroad experience, whether
Yes.
you're gonna do one with the honors college or FIU.
Yes.
Speaking of that, I do believe there are maybe a few spots left
Yes.
for current study abroad trips for the FIU honors college, for the summer
Yeah.
coming up. I
the
don't
next
know
summer.
when the cutoff date to apply and to like be selected to go is, but if you're interested in it after listening to our experiences and our take on the study abroad experience, make sure to go to the Instagram FIU Study Abroad.
Yes.
Is it FIU Honors Study Abroad or FIU Study Abroad?
It's honors. It's
Honors
FIU
study abroad?
honors abroad, I think. I think so.
You'll find it if you go to
Yes.
FIU Honors the page. They post a lot of collaborations with the study abroad page, so you'll find it on there. Thank you, Mariana, for coming
Oh, it was such a
and
pleasure.
being a part
I
of our
loved
amazing
doing
little
it.
podcast.
I loved it. Thank you so much for having me. I
Of
loved it.
course. And we always like to end every episode with a little pause up. So at the end, we're going to do that. But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, FIU Honors, to the Spotify account, FIU Honors as well. Also follow the Study Abroad page. And Let us know what other episodes you would like for us to do. I got a couple more planned out, but I would love to hear your guys' opinions. Content you would like us to talk about that could benefit you or prospective students if you're interested. And yeah, pause up, everybody.
What's up?